Anakin was like kind of intense. I think Hu Yang put it really correctly when Hera asked what Anakin was like, what Ahsoka's master was like, and he gets like this slit eyes, and he turns to her and says,
Intense.
intense. That was pretty funny, which I think is accurate. And it's definitely how a lot of people I think saw Anakin around the time. Like he definitely had a different energy to most Jedi. He wasn't as zen, I guess you could say. Anakin's energy towards Ahsoka in the scene when she was basically around the clones and feeling for them. I love that they gave the clones attention, really showing how terrible war can be and showing how really like dramatic it is, to be honest. Okay, I enjoyed that they're actually exploring the darker side of what, you know, what the clones experienced in their lives, because it's dark. It's really dark stuff. In some ways, the Clone Wars series does delve into that, but in other ways, the target audience for the Clone Wars series is still supposedly a younger audience, right? And I think in these kinds of shows like Ahsoka, they can explore Star Wars is always supposed to be for kids, according to George Lucas, right? But at the same time, it's like so many dark things happen, like, you know, Anakin's fall to the dark side, the fact he kills all the Jedi, all the younglings. Clone Wars is so dark, everything that happens, the amount of death, tremendously dreadful. So I'm glad that they're exploring that in a way that we saw the effects the war and even just being in a battle had on the clone troopers. Just seeing the clones in pain, looking sad, miserable, surrounded by explosions, blaster bolts, seeing them lying there in pain with their injuries. I'm so glad we're seeing more of that, because I think it's something that in some ways is overlooked and only gets explored in maybe like the comics, maybe in other expanded Star Wars media that's not as mainstream. I'm glad we're seeing how dark it really is. The moment Ahsoka grabbed that clone's hand, I felt emotional. I was like, man, yeah, the clones, even though sure they've been bred for war, they've like grown up and, you know, fully bred from birth, basically from their capsule form into soldiers. That doesn't mean that they don't evolve and have personalities, which is obviously what we saw during the Clone Wars and is what we're seeing here again in this episode, where she's connect with that clone, and it's just a sad moment.